Hello everyone, I'm Charles. Welcome to Graphic Design Quick Start. In today's episode, I'll be showing you how to create a photorealistic spy shield in Photoshop. We will start with these primitive geometric shapes that we created in our earlier episode and turn it to this photorealistic spy shield. To make this happen, we'll be using red modes, smart filters, adjustment layers, and many more. Let us get started. Let us switch to starting composition. For a start, let us do a little cleanup. Hold Alt, Option mark, and click on the up arrow next to the effects icon. That will close all the effects. Next, click on the star layer. Hold on Shift, click on the lead one layer to select them all. To start with, we'll be applying smart filters and some global effects. To apply smart filters, you will need a smart object. To do so, go to the Layers panel drop-down menu. Click on Convert Smart Object. Let us rename the smart object to Shield. To start with, we will apply a drop shadow. Go to the bottom of the Layers panel. Click on the FX icon. Click on Drop Shadow. Change the blend mode to linear band. Give it an opacity of 50%, an angle of 35. Check Use Global Light. Change the distance to 10 pixels, the size to 50 pixels. Click OK. Next, let us add some highlight in form of a flare. And in this case, we'll be using a smart flare. First, let us create a new layer. Hold Alt, Option mark, and go to the bottom of the Layers panel. Click on the plus icon. Holding out of options provides us with the new layer dialog box. Let us call the layer Flare. Click OK. Plus D for default foreground and background colors. Hold on Alt and place backspace. Option Delete on a mark to fill the layer with black. Let us convert the layer to a smart object. To apply a dynamic flare, right click on an empty area of the flare. Click on Convert to Smart Object. We need to see the effect as we apply it. Let us make black transparent. To do that, we change the layers blend mode to screen. Next, go to Filter, Render. Click on Lens Flare. Inside the Lens Flare preview, you can drag it to reposition it. We will have it at that point. Crank the brightness to 150 and leave layers to default, that is 500 to 300 mm zoom, that is the lens type. Click OK. Let us back off the brightness a little bit. Double click on an empty area of the flare layer. This gives us the layers options. Go to the blending option section. Go to the line layer slider. Hold Alt, Option mark, and drag the left side of the triangle slider. Take it to 70. So that your values lead 0/70 and then 255. Click OK. That helps these black edges to see through. Let us remove color from the flare. To do that, let us use an adjustment layer. Go to the bottom of the Layers panel. Click on the black white icon. Click on the Hue and Saturation adjustment layer. Change the saturation to 0. Click on the clipping mask icon to limit the adjustment only to the flare. Go back to the Layers panel. Let us rename the layer Desaturation. Moving on, let us add some extra highlights. Go to the blush layer, show it. These are a series of blushes that I applied earlier. Let me show you how I did this. Press B for the blush tool. Go to the blush options. Pick a soft round blush. Increase the size to around 300 pixels. Press X to switch the foreground and background layers. Click on the object. And that's it. That's how you add the extra flares. Let us back off the brightness a little. Double click on an empty area of the blush layer. Go to the underline layer slider. Hold Alt, Option and mark, and drag the left side of the triangular slider. Take it to 100. Click OK. That will help some of the black edges see through. Next, let us apply some texture to the shield. Click on the texture layer to show it. To help the layer lap around the image, we will apply our transformation, which is best applied on smart objects. Right click on an empty layer of your layer and choose Convert to Smart Object. Go to Edit, Play Transform, or press Ctrl T, Command T on the mark. Click on the warp icon, change the warp option to inflate, change the bend value to 100. Before you press OK, click on the warp icon, change the wing value to 12%, click OK. Let us blend the two layers together. To do that, change the texture layer blend mode, pick soft light, change its opacity to 50%. So also limit the texture to the shield. Let us create a clipping mask. Hold Alt, Option Mark, and click on the line between the two layers. Now our shade looks desaturated. Let us apply some contrast and also pop the colors. To do that, let us use the vibrance adjustment layer. Go to the bottom of the layers panel, click on the black white icon, choose vibrance, move the vibrance to 100%, go back to the layers panel, clip the layer to the shield. Let us now add some contrast. Go to the bottom of the layers panel, click on the black white icon, pick the brightness and contrast adjustment layer, take the brightness to -35. Next, let us add some definition to the shield. Click on the shade layer to make it active. Go to the bottom of the layers panel, click on the FX icon, click on gradient overlay, choose a blend mode of linear band, an opacity of 30%, choose a radio gradient, change the colors to start from white to blue, click OK, change the scale to 150%, click OK. That will add a definition along the edges of the shield. That is without the effect, and with the effect. When you zoom in, you find our shield has these jagged edges. To deal with that, there are many ways of doing it, but in this case, let us use some Gaussian blur. Go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian blur. Give it a blur of around 2. That will make it look as if it's blurred, but when zoomed out, it is not really that blurred, and also when you print it, it just looks perfect. Let us have an additional blur in form of a highlight. Press Ctrl Alt F, Command Option F on a mark to evoke the last filter, which is Gaussian blur. Change the radius to 10. Click OK. Go to the shade layer. The first Gaussian blur is the last one that we applied. Double click on the slider icon on the right of the Gaussian blur filter. Change its opacity to 25. Click OK. And there we have it. How to create a photorealistic shield in Photoshop using smart filters, blend modes, and adjustment layers. That's it for today. Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on our next episode.